Welcome to this episode 14 of the Spark Podcast. As always, it's Phil Cleary here presenting the Spark Podcast on behalf of the Electrical Trades Union. This edition of the Spark was recorded at Melbourne's Festival Hall, a place where many a rock star has strutted their stuff. On October 25, it was Nurses Secretary Lisa Fitzpatrick who received a rock star's ovation when she took to the stage. That ovation, her comments, and the comments from members that preceded her arrival made for an inspiring meeting as the nurses took on the Brumby government and won.
What's your name?
Maureen. I'm from Box Hill Hospital, Eastern Network.
Now, Maureen, I notice you've got Tame the Wild Brumby. I presume you're not very happy with the state government?
No, we're not. We're very let down. Feel very let down.
How long have you been a nurse?
About 42 years.
So you're a very experienced worker and nurse, and how do you put this particular moment in perspective with all the years you've worked and the political blues you've had?
Oh, very disappointing. Feel like walking out now.
Really?
Yeah.
It's remarkable, though, the morale here amongst the troops and all the supporters from other unions is quite astounding.
This is absolutely marvellous here. We've had a really bad week, and it's really sickening.
Did you get docked pay?
Yes, we did.
How much?
It works out 4 hours for the 4 hours for this meeting, 4 hours for last meeting, and 8 hours with our weekly pay.
What are the nurses looking for?
The nurses are looking for better conditions. We must not lose the ratio. That's really the thing that's got to stay.
What's the state of conditions in hospitals at the present time?
Bad. Not good at all.
And we've got an ageing population. This is a serious issue, isn't it? Is it not?
Yes, I'm one of those ageing populations, and it's looking really grim.
What do you love about nursing?
Oh, I love the patients.
Do you really?
It's really good.
Do they ever make you cranky?
No, never.
Will you win this blue?
I don't know. I really don't know.
All right.
We're ready to go back, hoping we've got something, but that's it.
Good on you, Maureen.
Thank you very much.
Everyone's talking about the ratio. How important is this to nurses?
Well, at the moment it's 1 staff member to 4 nurses. If we lose that, we could go 1 nurse to 10 patients.
So are you feeling great pressure in the workplace with the ratio?
We are, because I don't want to look after 10 patients in the morning. There's no way that I can care for them properly.
Everyone's talking about ratios. Very big issue, obviously, for nurses.
Huge. We just want it to be safe and not to diminish the patient care that we give, because we all want to give good care to our patients who I'm sure appreciate it, but we need to keep them safe and be able to provide good care that we're all trained to do.
There's an incredible spirit inside. You're not inside yet. I've been in there for a while, but God, it's special. Is this what goes with the territory with nurses?
Absolutely, and I just want to thank everyone here who's here to support us, because it just means so much to have the community support.
How are you feeling about John Brumby at the moment?
I'll keep it nice.
Okay. Well, finally, are you going to win the blue?
Hope so.
All the best to you.
Thank you. Thanks for your support.
Brian Boyd, the atmosphere here is quite remarkable. I've been to a lot of demos and rallies tonight, but gee, tears in the eyes, but great spirit.
Absolutely. Brought memories back to 1998 when we used to have a snap call out in terms of the MUA dispute way back then. This was less than 24 hours notice to call for this mobilisation to show support for the nurses, and the response has been fantastic. We've had nearly 1,000 people here over the last hour or two welcoming them in off the buses. We're wrapped.
Yeah, you've done well, Brian, to get so many unions across the territory here, union leaders, to actually show solidarity. It's very important.
It's very important, especially in this time leading up to the federal election, because we had work choices being threatened against the nurses in this dispute, which is a sad indictment on the Labor government. But But we will take that up with them in due course. But it shows that debate about work choices is not far under the surface. It doesn't matter what the dispute's about.
What the dispute really revolves around?
The Victorian nurses some years ago established historically for the first time in the world a nurse-patient ratio, and that was a big breakthrough back then. They've been fighting ever since to keep a hold of that, and while that blue's been going on, their pay rates have slipped behind the other states which didn't have the ratio. There's a big contradiction there for the nurses to work out amongst themselves, and that's part of the dispute they've had with the government.
Will the nurses win?
Yes, they will win. They will win a decent outcome that Lisa Fitzpatrick, their leader, has worked very hard for in the last period, and they will win. Definitely hold on to their nurse-patient ratio, and they will probably have to make a staggered thing about the wages.
Good work. Thanks, brother.
I've listened to Eddie Maguire on the Footy Show come in repeatedly and talk about a big week in football. He should try 9 days in the nursing profession. And I take my hat off to you, each and every one of you, for standing strong, because without your strength, without your action, I wouldn't come here today with an agreement that I believe I can recommend you accept. I say to you at 5:15 last night, after 8 months of negotiations and 8 constant days in at the Australian Industrial Relations Commission, we had 9 items that the employers were prepared to consider based on the total package. And at that stage I threw a hissy fit. I'll tell you, I wasn't happy. Let's start with ratios. It is the best move. We haven't got absolutely everything, but I think what we've got is we have the biggest injection of nurses since the nurse-patient ratios were implemented in 2000. We have an additional 500 nurses. Our claim for emergency departments has been accepted. And I want to thank the emergency nurses in particular. Because I know the level of the brunt that they wear when we close one bed in 4. And I think that is going to be fantastic. We have an additional triage nurse in Category 1 facilities. And in addition, we're confident that the resuscitation rooms will be staffed 1-to-1. And I am hopeful that will, of course, allow the corridor patients at Frankston, the waiting room patients everywhere, you'll be able to manage that work much better.
That's it from me, Phil Cleary, for episode 14 of the Spark podcast. Thanks for being with us. Don't forget our charity cricket match on Sunday, November 25, the day after the federal election. It's at Merv Hughes Oval, Melways map reference 2S. You can catch the Spark and other ETU video programs on YouTube at www.youtube.com/ETU Southern States.